Well, welcome everybody to Menlo Students. We're so happy you're here. We're going to start off with some worships. Let's sing Glorious Day. I was buried beneath my shame. Who could carry that kind of weight? It was my turn till I met you. I was breathing but not alive. All my failures I tried to hide. It was my turn till I met you. You called needed rescue. I needed rescue. My sin was heavy. Chains break out the weight of your glory. I needed shelter. I was an orphan. Now you call me a citizen of heaven. When I was broken, you were my healer. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a new share. My eyes are open. 'Cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave. Out of the darkness into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave. Out of the darkness to your glorious day. Hey!
Wow.
Man.
Wow. That was amazing.
That was.
Woo. Welcome to Menlo Students Live. My name is Juice.
And I am Brian, and we're from the Saratoga campus.
Yeah, represent Saratoga. Hey,
Right.
where are you guys from? Are you guys from Mountain View? Are you from San Mateo, from Menlo Park, San Jose? Where are you from?
That's right.
Put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat. Hey, welcome to Menlo Students. If it's your first time here, everybody is welcome here. This is a place where you belong, and we're excited that you're here with us tonight.
Yes, we are so pumped that you are here with us tonight. And you know what? You could actually be here with us if you want to join us. Be a part of the band.
That's
It
right.
is awesome. You can be right up here rocking out with these guys or girls. Maybe you sing. I don't know. Maybe you sing in the shower. Who knows? Maybe
do.
you play an instrument. Oh, you sing in the shower?
I definitely do.
That's kind of awkward.
It's awkward. Hey, Juice, and thinking of awkward, we're kicking off a new series tonight called Awkward.
No.
Look we realize that Valentine's Day is right around the corner. We know it looks different this year, but love is in the air. We want to talk to you about relationships and God together.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? To start us off right now, we're going to get a little awkward. We are going to bring up some of our friends and play this epic game, and it might get a little awkward.
It might get awkward.
Up
It
in
might
here.
get awkward. Yep, that's right.
Oh my goodness. So where's
Bring
our
it.
good friend Lauren? Lauren, our famous
come out and play.
musician. Lauren, everybody in the chat. Isn't she amazing?
Lauren
Wow.
from San Jose.
This
Let's
is going
go.
to get awkward. We are going to spin the wheel of doom.
The Wheel of Doom
That
coming
sounds
up.
good, right, Lauren? Lauren doesn't know what
Totally.
she's in for right now.
Lauren, check out what you could be drinking or eating right now.
Oh,
It's-
these are some
it's
crazy
not
things.
fun.
There's things like bacon and pickles, and I mean, it's going to be gross. So, Lauren,
Here we
let's
go.
check it out right now. Spin that wheel. This is for you
Oh
guys
my
right
gosh.
now. It's going to get
What is it gonna
awkward
be,
up
Lauren?
in
What is it gonna
here if she gets sick, you know?
Oh my word! It's
Oh,
pickle
it is a
soda.
pickle soda. Let's
Okay.
get you to get that pickle soda. Oh, Lauren, we want you to chug this in the chat. What do you think?
This
she
is
gonna
all you,
get
Lauren.
sick?
Just
Is
get a big swig.
Here. Oh gosh, I'm
Jeez
nervous.
Louise.
I'm nervous. Yep.
Just
here we go.
chug.
Big
Chug,
swig.
big
nice
swig. That's
Pickle.
right.
Ooh. Oh,
She likes it. Lauren says she
Oh,
likes
wow.
pickle soda.
That's actually kind of awkward.
Lauren,
Lauren,
I don't know you.
Lauren, that is for you. Take it off. Take it
wow.
off stage.
She's
See you
enjoying
later.
that. She's actually enjoying that.
That's amazing. What about Johnny D? We got Donovan, the
Donovan,
pastor
come
from
on
the
down.
San Mateo
From San
campus.
Mateo.
Let's spin.
Represent. Here we go. Spin the
that
wheel.
Wheel. What do we got, Donnie?
All right,
What
all
do
right,
we
all
got?
right.
I remember, Donovan, you can handle the hot
Ranch dressing
sauce.
soda. Do you want to just pop it? Yeah.
You guys,
wow.
that sounds so nasty.
Donovan, are you excited for
Ranch
this?
dressing
No, he's not. No, he's not. But really,
soda.
he is on the outside. He didn't want this one. He didn't want this one.
Let's get the biggest swig you can get. Oh, wow,
Dude,
wow.
Dude,
Ooh,
you
ooh.
savage. Yes?
Ooh.
Yay or nay? Nay.
Can you do another? Can you do
No,
another?
he's going to take it, though.
Oh, he's taking
What a
it.
champ from San Mateo.
Oh my gosh.
My
Who do we got
word.
next? We got Sam.
Sam from Menlo Park.
Sam from Menlo Park.
Sam,
the
get ready to
student
live.
director. Here we go,
Here we go.
Sam.
Here we go.
Don't be nervous, Sam. It's
Licorice soda.
ew,
Juice.
ew.
It's that
there
one
it
right
is.
there.
It's the black
Yes.
licorice.
Sam.
I don't know.
Whoa.
Are you guys more of a red licorice
I'm
fan
so,
or black licorice fan?
so sorry.
I cannot do the black licorice.
Like,
so
who
gross.
enjoys this, Juice? Who
It's
enjoys
getting
this?
kind of awkward. All right, Sam, here
No pressure,
we
Sam.
go.
You got this.
Sam, this is here for you. This,
We're here for support,
This
Sam.
is here for you. Can you do it? Are you okay? Oh,
It's not that bad.
This game is getting so awkward. This was supposed to be so gross.
Wow. This is supposed to be unenjoyable and awkward.
I mean, classic awkward right now.
Totally.
This game is bombing. Brett, come on up, buddy.
Come on down, Brett. Central Students, here we go.
Central Students, when we did something with hot sauce a while ago, Brett did almost
Oh, he wants the
lost it.
bacon.
He wants the bacon? Okay. Let's see.
Wow.
Let's see what the
Spin
wheel
the wheel.
says. Can we get the
Salty licorice.
Ew,
Brett.
salty licorice.
Brett,
so
look it.
Brett, I don't know. Can you zoom in on these things right here? This is double salted
When I
classic
bought these,
salt licorice. So
it's not
let's
good.
give you a handful here. Just put these in your mouth,
Just
Brett.
a mouthful of them. He told me those are the worst ones, so I bought them. That's all you, Brett.
Zoom in on Brett's face, y'all. Come on. No, seriously, do you need this? Don't spit it out
Don't
yet.
spit it out. Spit it out.
Come on,
Just
look
keep
at his
chewing.
face.
Just keep chewing.
Oh.
I believe in you, Brett. It's hard to chew. And it's gonna get stuck in your teeth and all that. It's
Oh, it's gross. That's so gross.
Yes.
Oh, no. Now he's spitting.
Oh,
This is
okay.
COVID safe. This is COVID safe.
Brett,
okay.
thank you.
Thanks, Brett. Hey,
Wow.
praise the Lord. Nobody did get sick. That is awesome. The game was pretty awkward, though, because we thought it was
Totally.
going to be way worse.
And they wound up enjoying it. Well, you know what, Juice? Thinking of praising the Lord, we're going to enter into a time of worship right now. So I just want to encourage you to just get into a posture of worship as we sing some songs to God together.
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody. People come together, strangers, neighbors, our blood is one. The children, generation of every nation of kingdom come. So don't let your heart be troubled. Hold your head up high, don't fear no evil. Fix your eyes on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where our help comes from. Say, whoa, 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 whoa. Jesus.
his children. Clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide all your heavens. Let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide all your heavens. Let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus.
Swing wide, all you heavens. Let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything with the breath, repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Jesus, our redemption, our salvation is in his blood. Jesus, light of heaven, friend forever, his kingdom come.
What is up, Menlo students? I'm so excited to be here with y'all tonight. I am still tasting that licorice in my mouth. Like
My licorice soda is not that bad.
My ranch
I
was pretty
lucked
bad.
out.
Mine was salty licorice, and I expected like licorice with a little bit of salt, not salt with a little bit of licorice. So, sorry guys, I'm struggling right now, but we're excited. Tonight's gonna be a little bit of a different night as we're kicking off our brand new series called Awkward, during which we're talking about the things that are awkward to talk about in church sometimes, which that's sex, dating, and relationships.
Yeah, and tonight we want to spend some time having some fun together and acknowledging in the awkwardness. We think it's important for us to talk about these type of things at church.
Yeah, but before we do, we're going to start off with something a little bit fun, because if you're anything like me, you've had a lifetime's worth of awkward moments. So here's what we're going to do. The three of us are going to share awkward stories from the past, and then you all are going to vote in the chat on a scale of 1 to 5 how awkward they are, 1 being not very awkward at all, and 5 being, oh my gosh, I never want to show my face ever again. All right, so Brett, why don't you kick us off?
And I will let you know, we have the chat right here, so we'll see what you're doing, and thank you for the sympathy. So with my story, I want to preface this by letting y'all know that when I was in college, I had a friend who introduced me as Brett. He's awkward. So I don't really get embarrassed often. But my story goes back to 5th grade. And now
That's a
fifth
long
grade,
time ago.
yeah, long time ago. I'm 35, so that was a while ago. A long time ago, I had a crush on this girl, and I thought the best way to let her know I'm interested is by kicking her heels in the hallway. And so one day we were coming back from
mean.
recess. Yeah, smooth.
So
We were
mean.
coming back from recess, and I kicked her heels, and her heel then went and kicked her heel, and she face planted in the hallway and just started bawling. And I went from thinking maybe I had a shot to realizing she's probably never going to talk to me again?
That's tough.
Oh man, that's pretty bad. Put in the chat 1 to 5.
1 to 5, let's
if you
see.
think
1 to
that's
5.
really awkward, but mine might beat it. I don't know what the people are saying, but mine's pretty
10 out of
bad.
10, I like that.
Okay, so when I was in high school, and it was like, like Sadie Hawkins time, when you're supposed to like ask a guy to a dance. It's so bad. I thought that it would be a good idea to ask this guy who was my friend. Like, I really thought this was gonna land, y'all. Like, I'm not crazy. I thought that this was a good idea. I got him pulled over by like a friend who was a police officer on his way to school. He's like driving to school. I get him pulled over, and so he thinks he's gonna get a ticket, but the ticket that is given to him is a ticket that's like, oh, if you go to dance with Sam, you won't get a ticket this morning. He didn't talk to me for 2 days. And he didn't go to the dance with me. So I had a double whammy of like, it was really a bummer.
You've got some oh no's in the chat. Like, people don't really know how to respond
Kind
to
of
this.
blackmailing him.
Yeah, 1 to 5. Let's hear. We got some 10 out of 10. Those are like, that's even beyond.
Yeah,
the
I know.
scale.
It was
That's
bad,
awkward.
y'all. I'm
Wow.
embarrassed.
Mine is not my own. I'm involved in the story, but
Okay.
it's not my romance story. I had a roommate in college, my freshman year, who we didn't get along particularly well. We were fine,
Okay.
but we didn't really talk. And he was dating this girl, and they were like, spent all their time together, 24/7, all the time, always together. And so it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm on the top bunk. I'm getting ready for bed. Lights are off. I'm scrolling through social media, and I hear him coming down the hall to the room. And so I just pretend like I'm asleep because I don't want to talk to him. It's wrong, but I did it.
I've totally
So
done
he
that.
comes in the room, he hops in bed, and then I hear him calling his girlfriend after he just spent
No
all
way.
day with her. He's calling her on the phone.
Love.
And I'm like, wow, this is a little extra. But then he goes, this little light of mine,
He starts singing.
I'm gonna let it shine. The whole song. He sings it 2
Was it
minutes.
good though?
No, it was awful. It was awkward and weird. It's a child's song, and he's singing it to his girlfriend at 11 o'clock at night. And so I'm in the bed, just smothering my face with my pillow, trying not to just bust up laughing, because I don't want him to know I'm awake and that I didn't say hi to him when he came in. But I also don't want him to know I've been listening to him sing and serenade his girlfriend for 2 whole minutes. So it was
so funny.
weird, man. It was awkward.
Wow. Wow. What do y'all think in the chat? Let us know.
That was
1
funny.
out of 5. Whose is the worst of all of us, most awkward thing? But so again, we're talking about this series because, we feel like sometimes, life is awkward. We are all awkward. We all have these stories. And sometimes you just got to embrace it and own it.
Yeah.
Because when you lean into the awkward, it actually allows you to have conversations and to be able to address things and deal with things that maybe you wouldn't have if you didn't just own it.
Yeah. Totally. And, and even though it might feel weird and uncomfortable, I think that this is a great spot for us to have these conversations. And we're really excited, y'all, because in the next 2 weeks, so not tonight, but in the 2 weeks ahead, we actually are going to have separate talks for middle schoolers and high schoolers. So all of our middle school friends, we're going to hang out on the YouTube Live, in the chat. We'll stay all the way through the night. But when the talk portion comes, we actually have a special link for high schoolers to pop over and watch a different talk. And so stoked about that and think that that will be really fun for what we're kind of doing a little different.
Totally. Now, I know that there's some students at home probably wondering why.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this at church?
Tell me why, please.
And we just believe that God really cares about our relationships,
Yeah.
right? He's very pro you, he's very pro me, he's pro us. And so he's so pro us that he sent Jesus to die for us so that we could be in relationship with him. And so we just believe that, even though relationships can bring us the highest of highs, like more joy than we could ever imagine, but also a lot of pain, some heartbreak. But we just believe that if we do relationships the Jesus way, that we will learn how to have meaningful, life-giving relationships for our whole life.
Yeah. I mean, and with that, it's like, we're also talking about this because, as you're saying, relationships are hard. Like, even when you get married, relationships are still hard. And so we're hoping that by talking about this, and while you connect with your life groups, you have a space where you can connect with people and process the good and the bad and the challenges with it. People that you can reach out to when it's like middle of the night, you're wondering, why haven't they texted me? And you can't sleep. And so you can call up your life group leader and be like, hey, I need some help. Like, we want to be able to do this together.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that we have that space for conversation while we engage in this topic. And the interesting thing is, I think as I've thought about having this type of conversation in church, I realize that I bring a lot of baggage into this conversation. That as I show up even tonight, even as I knew that we were talking about sex and dating, I came in with this feeling of guilt and shame. And I want to name that I think a lot of times the church has not gotten this right. And in growing up in youth group and engaging in conversations in so many different capacities over the years, this conversation can often be tied with guilt and shame. And that is not the heart of the Father. And I think it's important that we as Menlo students name that, and that you hear from us that that's not our intention at all when we talk about this. So as we engage in talking about sexual integrity tonight, and then in the weeks ahead about what it looks like to have a healthy relationship, no matter where you are coming into this conversation tonight, we want you to know that you are loved and you are seen. And there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus, and we are grateful that you are here. And so I bring that a little bit of my own baggage of like wanting to acknowledge and say we don't want any guilt and shame to be surrounding this conversation as we engage in it, because that's not the heart of Jesus, and it's not the heart of God.
Yeah, it's good. And I think if you hear anything tonight, hear that is not the heart of God, and we want to be people who are asking Jesus, who are you calling us to be in this conversation? Well, you know, we've said that relationships impact all of us in different ways, and so for each of us personally, like, why are you excited about talking about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is super important because I remember being in high school and hearing a youth pastor say, just don't do it. He's talking about dating. Just don't do it to a group of high schoolers, which is like the least relevant thing you could say, because a lot of high schoolers were dating. High schoolers date more than anybody else, right? And so I just remember thinking, not only is it not practical to just say, don't do it, but it also, I think some of what you brought about the shame, it made it seem like this conversation about dating and relationships, sexuality has no place in the church. And so a lot of us were looking at other places to learn about, like, what does it mean to date someone? What does it mean to be in a relationship? What is sexuality and how do we interact with that? And so I just think it's super important for us to have that conversation with students and open that place up for them to hear from their church, from their pastors, like what are these desires, these things that are coming up. So
yeah, and I think I'm excited about it in the same vein. The reality of talking about it here at church, knowing that this can be something that you take with you for the rest of your life, and that we hope that as we have these conversations here tonight, that the things that we are talking about and in the weeks ahead will shape and form how we engage with it. Because I think for me, as a single woman in my late 20s, man, I heard some things early on in foundational years that really kind of messed up how I viewed sex and dating and relationships, and a lot of things that were hard for me to engage with as I've gotten older, and things that I've had to work through. And so I'm excited for us to talk about these things and have an open and honest conversation about it, with the hope that it will be something that we're able to all hold as we encounter and engage in conversations moving forward.
Yeah, I think for myself, like I dated somebody in high school, and then, I've shared many times, I got married 2 years ago, and I'm 35, but between high school and then I had dated maybe one person before Taylor. So I was never really somebody who dated. And so anytime we'd hear talks like this, I would think, that doesn't apply to me. But now being married and thinking about, man, what do I want people to know is that relationships, one, are very hard. They're also really good. And let's learn about how can we have healthy relationships, because it doesn't just happen naturally. And I believe that Jesus, when we learn more about who Jesus calls us to be, we can actually learn to have better relationships. And I wish I could go back to myself and say, pay attention. It'll help you. Trust me. So that would pretty much be it for me. But you know, I think we probably should take a break real quick, stretch it out, maybe breathe, let some people process some things. So yeah, let's stretch it out. And while we do this, we're gonna play a little activity, have some more fun, and we're gonna do a game called Make It or Break It. And now here's how this works. Each of us have these paddles. You guys have emojis in the chat, and I want you to imagine your perfect person. Like, everything is perfect, but one thing. And we have our friends Juice and Brian. They're gonna read what those buts might be. And you're gonna say, either you're here for it or you're not. Like it's gonna work or you're running out. So let's hear the first one, Juice.
All right, so your perfect person gives you great advice, but they have bad breath that smells like 3-month-old milk. Oof. So every time they give you that that good advice, it smells like sour.
I dumped out some
Every
bad milk the other day. I'm gonna
Every time.
Every time. But they're perfect in every other way. I don't know if I can do it. I'm going to
can't.
break it. Yeah.
No.
All right, let's in chat. What do y'all think?
Well, my next one is this perfect person is your best friend, gives you the best advice, is there for you when you're down, but they always talk like a pirate.
Are you ready?
Does it come with the parrot?
Sure.
I'm out. I
Yeah, I'm still out. I don't
Parrot
care.
breaks
get
it for
robbed
me.
by my best
Yeah.
friend all the time.
Yeah, no. Parrot breaks it for me.
Yeah, what do y'all think?
Oh man. Okay, this person literally has the face of a pug. like literally like there's
Like
a
Men
pug.
in Black, like that talking pug.
Like
Is
I have
that
a
what
hard
we're thinking?
time breathing.
Yeah.
How is this even an option? No.
I think it'd just be funny. Like
Yeah,
imagine
I'm
your
gonna go with
Instagrams.
it.
Yeah,
Why
you get a
not?
lot of likes for that one.
Wow. Well, you guys have a best friend, but every time you guys go to a restaurant, they ask for their food to be put in a dog bowl.
Oh, dog theme.
Kind of just pivot
Is that
off
our
that
pug friend?
there.
Yeah.
In a
Do
dog
they eat
bowl.
like a dog too? I mean, I guess there's always the do they, but
It's
That's-
no.
eco-friendly.
Nah,
They're
that's
perfect
weird.
in every way.
That's super weird.
But you'll take a pug
Nope.
face? Y'all.
Is that where the doggy bag thing comes from at restaurants? What is
yeah,
that?
Maybe.
I don't know.
All right.
gosh,
Well,
wow.
thanks so much for
Whew.
playing, guys.
That was funny.
That was good. Dog face.
Who would have thought, man?
Well, I mean, I think it goes without saying that somebody needs to hear it. There's no such thing as a perfect person, right? There is
Taylor.
no such thing as. Okay, I see you.
She's in the chat.
No matter what, take it from us. No matter how great a person will be, there will be things that make you go, really? But I also think that relationships, that's one of the great things about them, is that even though people have their imperfections, they have their quirks, that is us really getting to go beyond just the surfacey things. We're learning how to love people for who they are and who Jesus made them to be. And so with that in mind, I want us to talk about a phrase that we're going to be hearing a lot over the next couple of weeks, and that phrase is sexual integrity. Sam, can you break down the word integrity for us?
I can. Okay, so the word integrity basically means that this person, if you have integrity, always does the right thing. Like no matter if anyone's watching, like when no one's around, they are doing the right thing. So this person is super respectable. They're sought out by their friends. They're kind of like the person that everyone hopes that like their kids grow up to be, right? That like you have a lot of integrity. And so when we translate and we actually talk about sexual integrity, what we're talking about is that we're taking the things that we feel, the things that we think, and the things that we desire, and that we respond to them in a way that respects ourselves, respects other people, and God. And so something, though, as we kind of talk about this and as we even think about sexual integrity and those three things of respecting ourselves, others, and God, I want to pause for a moment. And I want to talk just to in the world that we live in, as people, if we are fighting for sexual integrity, and that's something that we are choosing to be people who are integrous in that, the reality is there are people in our world who don't care about that, and who aren't fighting to be people who are people of sexual integrity. And I want you to hear that if you at any point in your life have been sexually harassed or assaulted, I want you to hear that that did not damage your sexual integrity. And I also want to say I'm so sorry. And I think that as we engage in conversations in the weeks ahead, and as you even have opportunity to talk to your life group leaders, I want you to know that this is a safe place and that we care deeply for you. And what happened to you does not compromise your sexual integrity, because that thing was done to you. And so again, this is a safe place, and we want you to know that we see you, we care for you, and we want this to be a place that you feel like you can bring your whole self. And so again, your life group leaders love you, they care for you, your student pastors love you, care for you. And we want to be engaging in this conversation with you as we kind of go about it. So it feels helpful to mention that just as we even just put that definition out there, since we'll be talking about sexual integrity in the weeks ahead as well.
Yeah, and I think there's, another group of people who might be watching is people who maybe you've been shown or maybe kind of pushed too early in being exposed to things that deal with sex, that maybe it's videos, maybe it's images that kind of left you feeling confused and you're like, I don't know what's going on. And you're just feeling a little bit of, just feeling uncomfortable with that and you don't really know what to do, maybe even feeling guilty. Again, I want you to know that, man, that is not your fault. And that what has happened to you or what you have seen does not affect your sexual integrity now. And every day we can choose to live with sexual integrity. And please talk to your life group leader. Man, if you are questioning things or having confusion around stuff, we want to be here for you. We want to talk with you in that.
Yeah, and so the core Bible passage that's going to really shape this series is a letter written by Paul to the Christians in Rome, and it's in Romans 12, verses 1 through 2. And this is what it says. Paul writes, "Therefore I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will."
Yeah, and you might be hearing that and thinking like, that doesn't sound like it's about dating. And you're right, Paul wasn't talking about sex in that, but he was talking to us about how we live our lives as a whole, how because of who Jesus is and what Jesus has done for us, we can now live a certain way in everything we do in our lives, and that includes dating, that includes our friendships, that includes the way we go to school, and all of that. Paul is saying that because of who Jesus is and what Jesus has done for us, we can now live our lives as living sacrifices.
Now, the word sacrifice is kind of a weird word, right? Because when I think about sacrifices in a biblical sense, I'm thinking about goats.
A little bloody.
I'm thinking about sheep getting sacrificed. So can you share with us what is the meaning of living sacrifice?
Yeah, no, it's good. Okay, so sacrifice, if we think about, if I were to ask you to help me to move, and you gave up a whole day and you came and you helped me, at the end of it, I would probably say like, oh man, you sacrificed your time.
Sure.
That's like a phrase we've heard, right? That you sacrificed your time. Essentially what that means is the time that you had that day was you owned it and you gave it up for me. And so to sacrifice is giving something up like that. And so when Paul talks about being living sacrifices, what he's saying is that we are to be people who we essentially say to God, all my life is yours. My entire life. I give it to you. Do what you want with it. So that's kind of like a living sacrifice.
That's good. That's good. And you know what? When it comes to living our relationship with God, we got to remember Paul was saying we do this because Jesus first did it for us, right? Because Jesus gave himself as a living sacrifice for us. And because of that, we can trust him. We can trust that if we were to say yes to doing things Jesus' way, being a living sacrifice, even when it's difficult, even when it goes against the culture and what's normal, that we can trust that Jesus knows what's best for us and what he has our best interests in mind.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to be hearing a lot more about that verse and more verses in the coming weeks. But I do want to give y'all a challenge. So one of the things Paul talks about, he says, let your mind be transformed, and it says by the renewing of your mind. And one of the ways we let our minds be transformed or renewed is by thinking about what are we focusing on? And so we want to practice focusing our mind on the words of God throughout this entire month. And we want to challenge you to memorize these two verses. To, between now and the end of February, memorize Romans 12, 1-2, as we just focus on God's word and let that begin to renew our minds as we think about these relationships.
Yeah, man, and I love those verses, and I hope you memorize it with us. I think that it's so great and a great challenge just for the month. But, you know, as we end our conversation here, the thing I am most excited about is now you get to transition and have conversation in life groups. And if it is your first time joining us, or if you just don't have a life group to connect with, we want you to know that we have a place for you. And there is a link that we're going to put in the chat, and we would love for you to click on that and get connected to a life group. Especially as we continue these conversations in the weeks ahead, we want you to have a space to process it.
Yes, so with that, we're going to send you guys off to life groups. Remember to be back here next week at 7 for more awkward conversations and some really good stuff. And we'll have a separate link to a talk for high schoolers. Middle schoolers will stay here at Menlo Students Live. High schoolers will jump onto a separate talk. But we'll see you guys next week. Have a great night.